Hi, I'm the 13th Wolfman. As you guys know, that during Black Friday, I picked up the girl, the girl with the dragon tattoo, the girl that kicked the hornet's nest, and the girl that played with fire. The what's known as the Millenium Trilogy, the Swedish films from Blockbuster. Watched them all. Now I'm going to tell you about them. So the first one is the girl with the dragon tattoo. You have Naomi Rapace and Michael. I would pronounce his name Nyquist, but it's probably just Nyquist. So this is the girl with the dragon tattoo. This is the movie that starts off the whole trilogy. Michael Nyquist, also known as in the movie is Mikhail Blomkvist, is hired to help solve a murder that happened over 40 years ago. Along the way, he meets up with Naomi Rapace, who is going to help, who winds up helping him do a lot of the research. She is like the super hacker of hackers. Her and her best friend Plague. The story is very well done. I really dug this. It's an English dub. I could watch it in the original Swedish language with the English subtitles. But there was an English dub, so I thought I'd check that out, see what that was like. Very well done. This movie is like 2 hours and 40 minutes long. So they get the whole story in there. And the cool thing is that between this and the American version, which is right there, they're essentially, the story is almost exactly the same with just few little changes here and there, but it's a very good story. We get to find out very little about Lisbeth Salander, that person there. We don't get to really dig into her background until the second and third movies. But in this one, she's an entity, and she's there and she's helping, but they don't really find out much about her. So that's the first movie, and I really loved it. This is a 4 chainsaw out of 4. In fact, they're all 4 chainsaw out of 4 chainsaw movies. The entire trilogy is worth getting just to watch because they're shot great. They look good. So that's the first movie. The second movie, the girl that played with fire, this one right here, we get to find out more about, like I said, Elizabeth Salander. In this one, Michael Blomkvist is his magazine Millennium is putting out a story about prostitution. And they've interviewed a bunch of Johns, and they find out that the main guy that's in charge of the entire prostitution ring his name is Zala. Well, they find out that Zala is Alexander Zalachenko, a Russian defector from the 1970s. He came over from Russia to Sweden and just kind of like started his own little criminal organization. And that's what we learn about them there. The couple that's doing the story on the prostitution winds up getting murdered, and the guy that is Elizabeth Salander's guardian winds up getting murdered. And so everyone points their fingers at her, and you spend a little bit over 2 hours trying to solve the case of who killed who and why do they want her to take the blame for it. You don't get all the answers until you get into this movie, The Girl That Kicked the Hornet's Nest. The Girl That Kicked the Hornet's Nest is the follow-up and the final film in the story that Stieg Larsson weaved so well in 3 books. Stieg Larsson, from what I understand, he died before the 4th book was finished. There is a 4th book, but the family and the girlfriend that he lived with for like 20 years are fighting over the rights to that. So we will never know how the story was supposed to come about, or how the final exit. But in this one, Elizabeth Salander is back, and we find out even more about Alexander Zalichenko and the criminal organization that he's basically running. This is the perfect follow-up to the first two movies. Again, I say all these movies are 4 chainsaws out of 4 chainsaws right across the board. I say if you get a chance to pick them up cheap, I got these for $5 a piece at Blockbuster. So I'm not saying you have to go cheap. You can buy the pricier set, but if you can find them, pick them up. I think you'll enjoy them. They're all English dubbed. Again, you can watch them all with the Swedish language and the English subtitles if that's your thing. I don't mind. They all have the art, the cover artwork for the disc pretty much looks like that, kind of a dragon's head. And the thing I love about this movie is that in this movie you see her dragon tattoo, and it's huge. It's a big back tattoo, instead of that little puny one in the remake. So that's my thought on the Millenium Trilogy, or The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo and its sequels. I'm the 13th Wolfman. I'm on the prowl.